Today we are on Domain 4, Adventures of Don Quixote, Lesson 5, Don Quixote and Sancho's Obstacles. Our objectives for today are to continue identifying plot details and the obstacles of Don Quixote and Sancho, and write a claim and identify the importance of supporting evidence. Our key vocabulary is confounded, terrible or annoying, deceived to make someone believe something that is not true, trick or fool. Fortune is luck. A sexton is a person who takes care of church buildings and surrounding property. And folks are people. So today we're going to actually listen to a read aloud. 6. Back to La Mancha. One day Don Quixote decided to go into the mountains of Sierra Morena for a while. He wanted to be alone to think of his life and love, to gather his thoughts on thoughts. Sancho was sent to deliver a letter to Dulcinea. It was August now, almost a month since they had left home. The priest and the barber had taken the road to find them, and Sancho ran into them. "Sancho, where's your master? You haven't killed him, have you?" the priest asked. "Oh, no, your grace. My master is safe and sound deep in that mountain," Sancho said. "He's just a little strange sometimes, talking to Lady Dulcinea. You'd think she's right next to him." "Well, it is important for you for the two of you to go back home," said the priest. "His estate needs attention. You yourself would be better off helping your wife take care of the fields," the barber chimed in. "With all due respect, you don't understand," Sancho said. "Master and I go about righting things that are wrong in the world and fighting evil." Sancho, you're beginning to sound like your master. Of course we understand. That's why we want both of you to go back home. There are wrongs to right at home too," the priest said. "Sancho, go back to the mountain," the barber commanded. "Tell your master anything you'd like, but bring him down from the mountain. We'll wait at the foot. Don't tell him you saw us. We'll be in disguise when you come out." Sancho went to bring his master. The friends followed a short distance behind. They soon met a runaway young woman who, after a brief explanation, agreed to help in bringing the old gentleman home. Her assignment, to play a princess, Micomicona, who had come all the way from Africa seeking Don Quixote's help. The story went like this. Her father had been dethroned by a mean giant. She had heard about Don Quixote's bravery. She knew he was the only one who could help her. When she became queen, she'd give him a huge reward. On hearing the tale, Don Quixote was delighted. Sancho was astonished. An island to govern at last, he thought. The group came to an inn. Don Quixote and Sancho went to bed early. In a little while, Sancho ran to the others, who were still up chatting and telling stories. "Come, everybody, my master just killed the giant, the enemy of Princess Micomicona," he said. They ran to the room. Don Quixote was in a rage, stabbing a giant, shouting, insulting him. "From this day on, your highness, you are free. The giant who dethroned your king, your father, the king, is dead," he said to the princess. The innkeeper was beside himself. He kept the wine for the inn in wine skins, enormous containers made out of animal skins. He stored them in that room. Don Quixote had cut open the wineskins, thinking they were giants. What a loss! Sancho was just as unhappy. His hopes for an island were gone. The priest and the barber had a wooden cage built in a hurry. It was large enough to hold a person. A few hours later, when the exhausted Don Quixote was still asleep, they grabbed him and put him in the cage. They were disguised, and told Don Quixote he was under a spell. Don Quixote took it all in stride, but Sancho was more than a little suspicious. They got home in the middle of the day. It was as if the circus had arrived in town. The children ran to tell the housekeeper. Word got to Teresa Panza, Sancho's wife. "How's the donkey, husband?" was the first thing she asked. "In better shape than his owner," Sancho replied. "Well, husband, what did you bring me? What did you bring the children? Clothing? Shoes?" she asked. "None of that, woman, but something more valuable," he answered. "The next time my master and I go away, I'll come back governor of the island. You'll be rich." "I hope so. But what did you say? What island?" Teresa wanted to know. "Be in no hurry, wife," Sancho told her. "You'll know at the right time. You'll be called Excellency." In the meantime, the niece and the housekeeper had put Don Quixote to bed. He didn't know where he was. He didn't know who they were. The priest advised the woman to keep an eye on him. He might want to take off again. The woman cursed those confounded novels of knighthood for the millionth time. 7. Don Quixote learns he is already famous. 1 month had gone by since Don Quixote had come back home, and his friends still had not seen him. The priest and the barber were everyday callers, but they were afraid he might remember past events if he saw either one of them. Sancho, of course, wasn't allowed in the house, and how desperately he wanted to see his master. One day he almost made it inside, but the niece and the housekeeper caught him trying to sneak in. "What are you doing in this house, you beast?" yelled the housekeeper. "Haven't you done enough damage yet? You're responsible for taking master away and doing all those crazy things." "Evil fork-tongued housekeeper, the one who's been talking into going is me," he said. "Your master told me a lot of things that weren't true. He even promised to give me an island to govern, and I'm still waiting for it." "No matter. Go away. Go take care of your household and your field," the niece commanded. Such loud conversation was not missed by Don Quixote. He called Sancho in. "I'm sorry, Sancho, that you feel I missed you. I misled you," his master told him. "We left together, we traveled together, we suffered together. I did not deceive you intentionally. You must agree that fortune was not with us. Now tell me, what have you heard about me? Tell me everything, without adding or subtracting a word." "Fine, your grace," Sancho said, "but promise me you won't get angry at me." "I won't, I promise," said the gentleman. Then Sancho told him, "Well, there are many opinions about you in this town. Some say he's crazy but funny, others, he's brave but unfortunate, others, he's polite but meddlesome. And there's more. You remember the son of Bartholomew Carrasco, Samson, don't you? He came back from Salamanca yesterday. He just graduated from the university. I went to say hello to him, and he told me that there's already a book about you, and I'm mentioned in it, and Lady Dulcinea is mentioned, and the whole lot of what has happened to us." Don Quixote wanted to meet Samson. Sancho went to the Carrasco home. Samson was about 24 years old. He was a small man and not particularly good looking. His mind was very quick, though, and he had a tremendous sense of humor. When he saw Don Quixote, he knelt on one knee, took Don Quixote's hand and kissed it, while he said, "It is with the most humble heart that I salute you, noble knight, one of the most famous in the world. I cannot become tired of reading the story of your adventures. I would be happy to be your servant." Don Quixote asked him to rise and take a seat next to him. They discussed at length the book Samson liked to read. Don Quixote was very pleased with what he heard. Sancho was beside himself with joy. The young university graduate and the old gentleman became friends. Samson now joined the priest and the barber on their regular visits to Don Quixote. 8. On the road again. The niece and the housekeeper thought Sancho was spending too much time in Don Quixote's room, behind closed doors. They suspected the two were planning to leave again, but they had no way to prove it or to stop them. Night came. Knight and squire left again, one for the third time, the other for the second. Destination, El Toboso. Purpose, to seek Dulcinea's blessings. They arrived in El Toboso late the following evening. All was quiet. There was no one to tell them where Dulcinea lived. Even if there had been people around to ask, how would anyone know about Dulcinea, a lady produced by Don Quixote's imagination? There was a real farm girl somewhere, but her name wasn't Dulcinea, and the gentleman had only seen her once before. They rode around the deserted streets until near dawn, when they saw a farmhand going to work. Don Quixote stopped him. "Say, good man, could you tell us where is the palace of the beautiful princess Doña Dulcinea de Toboso?" "Sir, I don't know," the man replied. "I'm from out of town. I'm only working here for a while. The priest and the sexton live in that house across the street. They might know. But I don't think there's a princess living in this village." Daylight had come. Don Quixote stayed hidden in the nearby bush, while Sancho went to look for the lady he had never seen. Don Quixote asked him to come back quickly. "What will I do?" Sancho thought. "How can I get out of this one?" Then he saw 3 farm girls riding toward him. He ran back to Don Quixote. Master, Mistress Dulcinea and 2 other ladies are coming to see you," he exclaimed. "You're making fun of me, Sancho," his master said. "Master, why would I do that? Come out, see for yourself. They're beautiful," Sancho insisted. Don Quixote got out of the bush. He saw those less than glamorous women. "Are they far, Sancho?" he asked. "What do you mean far? Can't you see them? Almost next to you," Sancho replied. Sancho grabbed the reins of one of the donkeys. Getting on his knees, he said, "Queen and princess and duchess of beauty, my name is Sancho Panza. I am the squire of that passionate knight you see next to me, the brave Don Quixote de la Mancha, who is in love with you." Don Quixote had gotten on his knees next to the girls. Dulcinea was terribly annoyed. What nonsense! They were wasting time, and there was a lot of work that needed to be done in the field. "Shut up and move," she snapped. "We're in a hurry. Move!" Won't you soften a little, lovely princess and queen of El Toboso? Sancho pleaded. What do these townfolk think we are? One of the other girls said angrily. You'd better move or our donkeys will walk all over you. Don Quixote moved and asked Sancho to move. Ah, those enchanters. They had done it again. They had just turned lovely Dulcinea into a gross, ordinary, ugly farm girl. Sancho was relieved. He had gotten away with that one. Our word work for today is deceive. I did not deceive you intentionally. When it means to deceive, it means to make someone believe something that is not true, and it is a verb. And I will see you in our next video to complete this lesson.